Um, so pretty much I'm recording the video. First off, what's up? Go ahead and like and also subscribe. Dabble King 41 here. Let me close this door. Actually got a webcam now, so got visual coverage of everything I'm doing and saying, and hopefully it's not too blurry or it's focused. I'll play around with that some more later, but pretty much I was chilling, about to watch some anime, and I just searched up strongest, right? Because I was like, that's probably gonna give a decent amount of isekai because you've always seen strongest in the name, like reincarnated as the strongest exorcist in the world. Even given the worthless appraiser skill, I'm actually the strongest. Even failure frame that I've been glazing. Failure frame, I became the strongest and aligned everything with low level spells. So this is what like kind of inspired me to search up like what pops up when I search strongest on an anime site. So I guess anime site name is covered. So hey, y'all probably know. Wait, actually, yeah, everything's covered. So hey, y'all probably know the site if you recognize. If you don't know the site, well, hey, I'm gatekeeping. So I realized just how cooked I am because I've watched pretty much all of these, and I realized that like people ever wondered how did all these like isekai keep getting renewed? How did they keep getting like new isekai? It's because of people like me. Like it's my fault. Like I'm responsible for the slop, and I eat it. I watch it all because I'd say out of all the ones here, I haven't watched this one, this one, uh, this one. So these two, this one, and that's it. I've watched everything else here. So, and that's probably more anime than most people have watched, much less just random garbage isekai. Of course, we got some goats, but I just thought I'd do a quick review slash synopsis slash summary on each of the things I see here to kind of give people a good idea. Because I feel like if I'm going to watch all the slop isekai, then other people don't necessarily have to. So, this one right here, Reincarnation of the Strongest Exorcist in the World. I think I'd started watching it and I stopped. Pretty much it's a guy who was the strongest exorcist, so he just believed that power brings nothing but problems because he got murdered in his past life. This is all like episode 1 stuff. So he comes back reincarnated. He doesn't have any magic, however, he does have his exorcist powers still. So he's able to use those to almost perform greater feats than most magicians. This is trash Sakai. It has a 7.23. It's not good, I'll be honest. Like it's not very good. There's nothing special about it. I can't even give you any story beats because of how bad it actually is. I mean, I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just mid. So it's watchable, but you're pretty much turning your brain off and just letting the things happen. The animation also isn't very good either. So reincarnation of the strongest exorcist in the world. Don't bother watching it. Like I said, I haven't seen. Well, I can't see this. There's only one episode, so I'm waiting for that to stack up. But it's looking promising. I haven't seen this one either. Also, my plan is to watch everything here. So all the ones I haven't seen, I'm pretty much just gonna watch them right now. Cause why not? Go ahead and polish them off. Of course, I already glazed this, so check out that video. It should be at the end of this, in the end card, or maybe I popped it up right here on the screen. But definitely check that video out because I give it some pretty high praise. I feel like this is one of the best isekai I've watched, and it's even one of the best like OP isekai. This one right here, this one isn't necessarily an isekai. I pair everything. It's more of a fantasy. All right, back to business. So, um, yeah, I pair everything. So I actually did enjoy this anime. It's kind of wholesome. It was kind of the biggest thing I'd say is that it's dumb. Part of it might be my fault because I watched the dubbed, and that honestly might be in the intent because the main character is very stupid. Pretty much, he's incredibly powerful, but almost every situation he involves himself in, he doesn't realize either the either him and every other character interpret it very differently because he's incredibly powerful, but he refuses to realize and accept that. So every feat he performs, he looks at it from the basis of I'm not strong, so this can't be that. So whenever he encounters a strong opponent, he's like, oh, this person took it easy on me. Whenever he fights a monster, he's like, oh, this is just a normal frog. And even though he's fighting like some kind of like demon frog or whatever, that's like one of the strongest, most deadliest monsters in the world. So he interprets everything from the lens of I'm not strong. And even sometimes he'll encounter like really important people and he'll be like, oh, look at this fancy old guy. Instead of this is literally the king of another nation. So he doesn't get cues properly. He's super dumb. He doesn't take hints. Like other people will be on the same basis, but he isn't. He doesn't listen to what people tells him. So someone will be like, "Oh, I didn't do anything," and he'll be like, "Oh, you're just being modest," but literally they're just being completely honest that they didn't do anything. So he's just really dumb, and it kind of gets annoying, but it doesn't ruin the show. It's still pretty wholesome. It's still a decent watch. Definitely more watchable than this. I think this I just stopped watching, and probably another one. I think this one I might have stopped watching this one as well, because this one I'll get to that. But I Pair Everything, good watch. I'd say a better version of I Pair Everything. So I would put this under the class of fantasy where the main character is in midlife. So I'd say 30 up. So a 30-year-old main character who has doubts about his abilities but is actually very strong. A better version of this would be Newbie Osan Newbie Adventurer. The character like kind of goes through these similar things. Like he trained for a very long time to become very powerful, but was doubting his abilities. But he realized very early, like, yo, I'm actually quite powerful. I'm actually quite strong. Then he uses that position to actually, help and mentor other people. While this guy's like, oh, I'm so weak. There's nothing I can possibly teach you. When literally he could probably teach some things and also help and instruct. So this is just a worse version of that. An Osen level newbie adventure or whatever it's called. It's super inspiring. It has a great message of, hey, just because you're older doesn't mean you can't pursue your dreams. So I feel like it's a lot better of an anime than this one. And it has way better animation and better fights. But this one is still pretty cool. Like, don't let me talking about it in this way kind of ruin it. It's just, bro's just dumb. And it kind of like, it really like, if he was just smart and he realized like what was going on sooner, he'd be valid. The anime would be a lot better before that, but it's not. I haven't seen this. Probably gonna watch those after I watch this one. But I've seen Alpharetta. This is the new season, or Arifureta, however you fucking say it. I always fuck it up. This one's actually pretty good. I will say, sadly, the first season is probably the best one. I probably talked about it a little bit on my ranking every anime video, ranking every anime ever video. I'm still got to do the installation of that. But yeah, this one's actually pretty good. Or this is season 3. I'm talking about all of them in general. I enjoy the start. Like, it starts to taper off a little bit because there's less struggle and he becomes super strong. So it loses some of its dynamic that it had earlier on, like a little bit of the mystery, the challenge, and this kind of becomes I solo everything kind of thing. And it is not done in an exceptional way like Soul Leveling or other anime where the character continues to be cool, or it's not done with a comedic element either. It's not. I wouldn't say it's particularly funny, but it's still a good watch. Comparing it with I Pair Everything, I'd say they're probably on a similar tier, but they're not better. They're way better than this. They're actually watchable and keep your brain on type of way. But definitely, I'd say that the earlier parts, amazing gas, and then it kind of stumbles. It gets closer to this brain dead tier. I haven't seen this one. I'm actually the strongest. I've seen this one. I honestly can't remember anything from it. Like, I know I've watched it. Like, it's in my watch list. Like, this means it's completed, right? Oh, actually, no. Let me click on it. Watch now. See, edit. See, completed. I have no clue what this is about. Let's see what it says. Prince Richard, Prince Reinhardt, his abilities are measured at level 2. Thinking that this child is a business failure, his parents abandoned him in the woods. There, the prince, who names himself Haruto, encounters a. Oh, okay. So I kind of remember this a little bit better. So I think he's super weak, and he's so weak that like his parents abandoned him because they're royalty. And then he's left in the woods, and he encounters this like fox demon thing. But he's so strong, like as a baby, he actually defeats it, and she becomes his servant. So and he actually gets adopted by another family. It says right here. He meets them both in the woods, and they adopt him as his child. 9 years pass, and Haruto, under the care of the Zenfis family, his mastery over his overpowered barrier magic increased by the day. Through Haruto's, he uses barrier magic. So through Haruto would rather not use it to help others. Damn, it's crazy. His practices of magic are in secret, referring to have his family believe that he is weak. However, his younger sister Charlotte discovers his strength, and with the assistance of Flay, Haruto protects the rest of the Zenfis family from harm. With a shifty plot stirring in the kingdom, Haruto only wishes to stay inside and watch anime, but because he will have to use his magic to keep the family that took him in. Actually, no, okay. This one's actually good. Okay, so don't let my lack of memory of it kind of like sully it. This one's actually a better version of like the trash isekai. So pretty much he tries to keep his powers under wraps, and he does a cool thing that I like is his abilities are able to kind of bring some modern luxuries to this current world. So he's actually able to like use his barrier magic to create TVs to allow his little sister to watch like anime and stuff. And then there's funny jokes where he's trying to keep her watching to a minimum, so he tries not to give her too much screen time. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool, and he creates like an alter ego to like fight crime, so that he can just keep his identity. And he also fights corruption and stuff. So this one's actually pretty valid. I think it's just my brain is a little bit rotted from watching all the isekai brain rot, but this one's actually pretty good. So if I compare it to like unwatchable garbage or watchable garbage, this is watchable and enjoyable. I'd say that this stays somewhere around the level where this drops from. So I feel like the start for Ari Ferretta, super strong. Like I love character betrayed, so now he has to claw his way up. That's like peak S tier starting, and it drops to like a B, the continuing of the anime. I'd say this stays at like maybe it stays around an A or A minus or B plus. This is actually pretty good. It just took me a minute to remember it. I apologize. Now, what's next? Misfit of the Demon King Academy. Okay, so this anime, I've watched the first season. I actually enjoyed it a lot. Now, when I try to watch the second one, you know that sometimes when there's a decent amount of time between the first and second season, it can like, you know, throw off your connection to it because it's been so long, you forget some things. But usually you're able to still kind of enjoy it, right? Now, what I do have to say is, this shit's unwatchable, bro. Like, I don't know any of these characters. I don't really care. But I was overpowered. It was overpowered in the way that you don't really care about anything that happens. The first season, I think it was kind of strong because everyone was doubting who he was, and it was kind of like I'm this person. I am the old Demon King return, and everyone's like, nah, no, you're not. Or pretty much he was just flexing on everybody, showing off his powers. But like, that kind of dies out if it isn't done the right way, because he's not necessarily progressing. He's not necessarily getting stronger. But, you know, that's really it. It's just kind of boring, and it's not really worth the watch. So, Misfit of the Demon King, sadly, it is in that. It's not isekai, but it's kind of, well, would it still be an isekai if it's the same character, if it's a fantasy character transferred to another fantasy world, but not through space or dimensions, but time? That's still technically another world, right? It's like, I'd argue that technically Dr. Stone might be an isekai, because here they're in a world and then they're sent to another one, even though it's the same one. Does that make sense? So Anyway, that's a discussion for another time. But uh, yeah, it's decent to start. Season one's okay. I didn't even say good, but then rest of them, I really don't really care for. And I'm trying to be more particular about what I watch now because like I said, I've watched all this slop, so that's kind of giving me more. What's the word? Not to say a lot of them I didn't enjoy watching or I didn't just use them as background noise, but it's to say that I'm trying to be more selective what I actually commit time to watching. So when I say that, like, I stopped watching it, I genuinely really do mean it. Because most of the time I watch anything. So if I stop watching something, that should be like a pretty good indicator of just how bad it is. See, I think this is another one that I don't think I finished this. Let me check. I can't. I also can't remember anything about this. So this is a similar thing to like the Demon King one, where I guess I finished it, where the character is very strong, and see, I guess it's better if I don't remember anything about it, and I don't have anything negative to say, which was with this one. But I remember things about this, and it's not positive. So pretty much, it starts off pretty good. Like, it's a good concept, similar to Demon King one. Is I'm super strong, but no one believes it, because pretty much the way this world works is they have crests / sigils automatically imprinted on their bodies, and those determine like how strong they're going to be or what kind of abilities they'll have. See, he has the strongest crest. So I think the English version of this anime is like, I have the strongest forgotten crest or something. Let's see what this says. Yeah, the strongest sage of the disqualified crest. Yeah, so pretty much like he has the strongest crest and he gets reincarnated. But everyone sees him as like, oh, his crest is super weak. He has the weakest crest. But really, he has the strongest one. So he's a lot powerful than everyone else and all that jazz. But, I can't really remember anything other than that. Remember, the animation isn't very good. He helps his allies become stronger, of course, and whatnot, but it takes place in a school setting. And, like, of course, those two girls are, like, his little harem. But that's really it. It's really similar to this one. I think I remember maybe this one being a little bit more watchable, with this one being a lot worse off. But they're both on the similar tier of ass. So you could skip both of them, honestly. Whenever I see people post these in the comments, I'm just like, is it worth the watch? They're like, is it worth the watch? I'm like, nah, just skip them. There are lots of better isekai. If you want a better isekai of someone that's super strong that gets reincarnated, or someone that's really young and super strong, I'd say, Am I Actually the Strongest was actually a lot better. Or The Seventh Prince. The Seventh Prince is actually pretty fire, even though that one's less about someone super strong getting reincarnated, but more so about someone attaining super great strength at a young age. And I can't remember anything else off the top of my head. But next one, My Isekai Life. I gained a second character class and became the strongest sage in the world. See, this one should be isekai garbage. This one should be trash, but it's actually pretty good. So this is actually decent. I'd say first and foremost, it's a comedy, and it's actually fairly funny. It takes a lot of tropes and twists them on its head, because what he's a tamer, but he's also like, I'd say this one's pretty similar to what it's called, Black Summoner. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Black Summoner. So he's a tamer, and he tames different monsters, and each monster is able to talk and communicate with him and have personalities. And it's also funny because he's super strong and he's like showcasing his abilities. So if you've seen like the solo leveling mining scene, it's similar to that, where he's super strong and he's doing like mundane tasks because people are asking him. And also, it's actually pretty hype. There's really good animation, and there's also some pretty good fight scenes in it too. And I think there's a certain part where people are trying to assassinate him, but he doesn't realize that they're aware of his ability, that they're aware he's there. So what he does, he like fools them into thinking that he's super weak, because he has one of his I guess it's kind of a spoiler, but he has one of its. But this is how you know I actually really enjoyed this one. So I'd say this is above. I guess my hand is no good. This one is above. Even am I actually the strongest? I might even say I enjoyed it above Arifureta, aside from Arifureta's beginning parts, and I enjoyed it more than I Parry Everything too. Honestly, like, so I got off track. Pretty much, he gets into a fight, or no, he gets into a fight with like another monster, using one of his beasts, specifically the wolf guy right there. So he gets into a fight using his wolf beast, and pretty much he keeps buffing the enemy. So he has a bunch of buffing skills or spells. He keeps buffing the monster that his wolf beast is fighting to show that, like, oh, his wolf beast is trash, because the monster that they're fighting is like a low level monster. So he buffs it like over and over again, but he fails to explain to his wolf beast that, hey, like, I'm trying to make it so you lose because we're being watched. So his wolf beast keeps like locking in. It's like, no, I can do this. I won't be defeated. So it's actually pretty funny. So it's just multiple times like that where it's actually a pretty entertaining anime. So I actually like it a lot. Is there a way to put things into favorites? I don't think there is. Let me see. Nah, there isn't a favorites list, but because I think that's a good way to distinguish a lot of things, because everything's just incompleted right now. I actually really did enjoy that. Like I said, I haven't seen that or that. Dragon Ball, the world's strongest. Fire. Definitely watch that. It's peak. I think that's when they fight Dr. Milo in his little brain vat. Fire. S tier. Best. I'd say Kenichi World's Mightiest Disciple. S tier 2. This shit's fire. Peak. Definitely want to watch that. It's about Great Rags to Riches story. Dude starts off weak, wants to get strong, so he undergoes pretty much torture to get really powerful. But yeah, that's really it though. That's really it. Like, so that's all the anime that says strongest. I'll probably do another one that says skills. Let me go ahead and type that in, see what that does. Or let me just put skill. Oh, really? These are all the anime that have skill in the name? But I haven't seen all of them, so I guess I'll watch all of these. Let me see what happens if I put an S on it. So instead of skill, just skills. Okay, that made it less. Alright, well. Well, like I said, I'll probably do a similar video on... I mean, I don't have to do a similar video on it, but I'll probably go out of my way to watch everything that has skill in the name. But not everything. Some of these don't seem very, like, you know, interesting. But give them a look, because I'm trying to see all the trash isekai so I can save everyone else from having to watch them. That's how I see it. But aside from that, that's really it. So I'm gonna end this video here. Hopefully y'all enjoyed and learned something. Again, check out my video on Failure Frame, and if anything, just watch Failure Frame, because that's actually really good anime. I don't see enough people talking about it. But that's really all. So, bye.